We're working on the Peoria, getting that loaded now. We got it up there and it ended up slipping off the channel.
I love the old John Deeres, that's my thing, so. 330, that's a beautiful little tractor. The 430, and then we came down, he's got a 530. We kind of went through the 30 series tractors, went to the top volume John Deere implement dealers in the country to celebrate the 100-year anniversary.
Yeah.
So if you're, in between here and Nokomis, you might get a show here in just a day or so.
God, look at that. We're gonna run out of parking lot.
I'm Kurt Aumann of Aumann Auctions. We have been in business for over 60 years, and I've tried countless times to put into words the adventures we go on and the situations we get into, but I just can never seem to do it, so we're gonna show you. We are an international auction company specializing in all things vintage power. Through our adventures, we have seen some of the rarest items in the world, from vintage tractors, trucks, cars, signs, memorabilia, and so much more. We are not just an auction company, we are collectors with a passion for the items we sell. But it's not just about the items, it's also about the people. We get to experience, share, and tell the history of our past. Every day is different in the auction industry. Now it's time we take you on the adventure with us. Hey, everything is back in Nokomis from Carthage, North Carolina, in the Eater collection. We're getting things unloaded, and then we start the magic of spark and gas and getting them started. It's always a thrill whenever they start up the first time. We're doing that for the preview for the pre-30 open house and tractor school. That gives our customers a chance to come and hear the tractors run and maybe even drive them if they'd like to, take them for a test drive before they bid on them and buy them. The rest of the team is busy in the showroom getting the classroom set up for the pre-30 tractor school. We've got some great instructors this year going to teach us a lot about this early old iron, and it's a great opportunity for collectors to come together and eat, drink, and be merry and talk about their favorite subject, old iron.
Had one little incident. We lost the wheel here.
Oh yeah,
the chains got a little loose and had to stop, and that's when we discovered the axles.
And it was just a pipe too. I mean, you can see it's rusted through on a little bit more than half of it. So yeah, on both ends. I mean, we were so worried about that front axle coming off that didn't pay too much attention.
Anytime you're dealing with old machinery, there's always a few challenges. The 1730 Minneapolis power unit from Carthage, they provided some cribbing for a safer ride to Nokomis. By the time it got to Nokomis, there were still problems to address. Even though they went through all those hoops, the axle pin had completely failed. We had to very delicately get the power unit unloaded, and we went to work on fabricating a new axle.
I mean, how in the world did y'all get it up on blocks?
Well, there was a couple of us, and put a big block right here and a big old 4x6.
Couple big boys. Just leaving it right back. Well, that worked out perfect though. So I'm sure it was a lot more steady that way anyways.
Yeah.
Without bouncing.
That's right, yep.
Perfect. Well, at least it made it all in mostly one piece.
That's right.
We are here at the Aumann pickup today. So we're getting ready for everybody to start showing up in about 30 minutes. We've got 4 people scheduled right at 9. So I'm being the cashier today, so I'll check everybody in, take their money, and Lucy and Austin will help them gather their things.
We're at the hotel, and there was a couple down there, and Dave walked over by him, and they mentioned that they were, if we wanted to know if we were at the auction company, I guess, and Dave told them we were, and he called me over there, and I guess they had explained to Dave they were there to get that Centennial plow, the one of 3. So
yeah, cool. They've driven 1,000 miles.
Really?
Yeah.
In a short period of time.
that's neat. It's kind of cool. It's going to John Deere dealership, you know. And at least it'll be appreciated there, you know. I know that would set well with Delbert. He would like that, you know.
Gives us more room in the van to haul ours.
There you go. That's what we want. We'll have plenty to haul back. So it looks like people are starting to get in line. Yeah.
We got to earn our pigs in a blanket.
All right.
Great.
This was quite a
It was 1036.
1036.
Weapons. They're weapons, Catfish.
They're weapons.
They're-
I found out some really interesting history on all that because you have it listed as a Civil War sword, I think it says. It could be about that era, but what it is on the hilt it says U-R-R-A. It's U-R-R-A. What this was a ceremonial sword for the Knights of Pithar, which was a competition of the Knights of Columbus. Started with the Knights Templar many centuries ago, you know.
Most of our knowledge is in farm-related items. Like with the Hoffman collection and many others, we run into a variety of items. We try to be experts on everything we can, but sometimes we also get stumped and have to reach out to other experts in the field.
So is this gentleman that bought the plow?
Yeah. I bid again.
Oh yeah.
I was
Congratulations.
I was sent to pick it up.
Oh, you were sent to pick it up.
I was sent to pick it up.
Oh, okay.
But pleasure.
Or my limit was 10,000, and I bid 6, and then it kept going boom, boom, quicker than I could push the button. So, well, good for you.
As Kurt says, he said, just keep hitting the button.
Yeah.
Me and Dave will help you get it out.
Ready to talk about the base yet?
Yeah, he's going to talk. Pretty exciting, you know, to see it go. Such a rare item. So it was sold well. It was the key piece of the whole auction. So now it's going away. Somebody else get to enjoy it.
John Deere started in 1837 and was originally made famous for their self-scouring steel plow. One of the top items on the Hoffman collection was a John Deere Centennial plow. The John Deere name is not only recognized with tractors, but also encompassed with signs, toys, memorabilia, implements, and so much more. Some of these items were highlighted on the Hoffman collection, including tractors, signs, patio series, lawn and garden tractors, toys, farm primitives, and memorabilia. Okay, so the gentleman showed up to pick up the 830, and I was amazed. That thing fired right up and ran well. I was just excited because we didn't have to move the thing out of the building. You know, we'd moved a couple out, and you start pushing those around. It's a tight fit. It becomes a little cumbersome, but he jumped on that thing, and we thought we were gonna have to move it. Fired right up, ran great. And, I was excited about that. But you know, the old saying is, nothing runs like a deer. So the 830 diesel, it was a real, it was more of a sleek down design tractor, very neat looking tractor, kind of a beefy muscle looking tractor that Deere produced. They started production in late 58 and they ended late 1960. About 70, 75 horsepower at the drawbar and a little less at the PTO, a little less than 70. Like I said, it was the muscle tractor of its era for John Deere. Before the production, they introduced in 1960, I believe August of 1960, the new generation of power, and that was a whole new generation of tractors for Deere. They introduced like the 1010, 2010, 3010, 4010 tractors, even the 8010, which would have been their four-wheel drive, which was a very massive tractor compared to what they had in the past, and just a really neat line of tractors. That new generation, it just basically changed a lot for Deere. I mean, it was starting of a new era. So it was a great line of tractors, and like I said, Deere has always made a great tractor, with that 830 being one of them as well.
All right, end of the day here at the Hoffman Living Trust. Most items are now gone. Exciting day. The Centennial plow was picked up today. It took off. It went to a dealership in North Dakota. A lot of exciting things went on today. People happy with their purchases. So, like I said, we're now getting ready to wrap it up, jump in the van, and head back to Nokomis.
Pre-30 seems to start as soon as last year's gets over with, so it's an all-year thing.
We're getting everything set for our open house for pre-30. We've got the tractor school just about set in this room, and we're going through and just kind of getting our equipment set up, tested, and ready to go.
Basically, it is the premier 1930s and older ag-related tractors, trucks, cars, literature, memorabilia, everything you can fit in that box. We've kind of been known as that's our thing. So we have people consign all year round for that auction, but in the spring is when it happens, and this time of the year, the entire team is running around crazy, doing stuff, prepping for people to be here for the open house. Our tractor school that we host each year brings in a lot of hobbyists, a lot of collectors, a lot of people who just love or are fascinated by the dawn of the mechanized era, you could say.
We have instructors come in from across the United States. They come in and teach about tractor restoration, and engine repair, like how to start antique tractors and other general maintenance. One of my favorite things about tractor school is just seeing everybody get together, share their stories, and tell a few lies.
See, it's this kind of stuff. It's insane. Like, it never fails. Last minute. Anyways, they'll sort it out. What's interesting is now I have to figure out how the people who want this stuff will know about it, that it's selling. So basically, I've got a lot of work to do to make sure this gets to everybody. So that's the joys of what I've got going on here.
Oh, look at you, Pagan, you're a genius.
Got that in writing.
Volume, yeah.
Michaela, what are you doing?
The second device. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, catfish.
What happened? After last year's buzz of the Case 3060 that sold for $1.47 million, it really got a lot of people talking about the hobby and where's this gonna go? What's next? You know, so we set that mark last year, and I think people have high expectations of what we're gonna do. I'm not saying we're gonna set records every year, but typically there is something that's stand out that just blows your mind. And that's the fun part, is we all just watch the auction close and we're just fascinated to see where some of the prices go and some of the stuff, and it's just really amazing. And it's nice to know that people are out there still saving the history behind all this stuff, because if it wasn't for people collecting it, it'd been long gone.
Part of the team for this auction that we have come in is Dave Hudson and Steve McIntosh. We call him Mac a lot, so you may hear that pretty often. But Mac is from Arizona and Dave's from Indiana. They are kind of old tractor gurus.
And when we start, I think it just decided to start and run.
extremely experienced in dealing with working on projects and stuff that hasn't been running in a long time. We have them come in anytime we have, I kind of joke with them, anything that doesn't have a battery, that's kind of their thing. Which is my thing too, but they are much better suited for it and knowledgeable about it. I kind of like just watching them work, and that's where I learned my tips and tricks from too. So it's nice to have those guys around. Okay. So you think that new condenser's gonna?
It's sparking.
Okay.
These wires are pretty crappy, but
Sure.
they're wrapped with electrical tape.
Well, I mean, I guess if we needed to get new wiring, that's.
Is this high value?
Yeah. There's only 2, so.
It is high value.
Yeah.
But
It's a pretty neat early design.
pretty unusual.
Yeah.
Very unusual. Let me see what we can do here. I got the timing a little bit late, but I think it'll run. Good. Good enough to get started. We can adjust it if it isn't. Right. But I think it'll run.
So Mac is actually working on the 3570 Minneapolis that came in. So I think we're gonna go outside and test it out and see if things will fire off. So this tractor actually came in and it had not been run. So we actually went through it and checked to see kind of what situation we were in, and it was stuck. So we took it, everything kind of off of it, spark plugs, took the priming cups out, got everything kind of sprayed down, and slowly started working things loose. It had been sitting for so long that things had just gotten dried out. Maybe the cylinders had kind of tightened up and gotten a little rusty. You want me to roll it, or you want to?
No, pull a little bit.
Okay. All right. Let's see what it does. So with Mac on the crank, he started turning things over. I got up on the platform and was able to get things primed up, get fuel in, and make sure we're getting everything else set up on top of the engine. Mac, you said you did click the impulse?
I did, but I don't hear it.
I don't either. That's why I'm asking.
One thing I did notice, I didn't hear a click, and thought that might be the impulse, that it wasn't engaged. So we did end up checking that out, and it wasn't. So I stayed off on that side just to make sure things were clicking like they should, and it took right off once we got everything set up.
Damn diesel we put in there.
Yeah, it's burning off. Well,
that was easy enough.
She's a runner. Easy enough. So times when we were pulling it over, the impulse was a little sticky, and what that does, that basically it winds up and releases a quick charge out of the mag to fire on the spark cylinders, or to fire on the spark plugs. And I didn't hear it when he was cranking up there, so that's what we came over and made sure was clicked to where it was actually working correctly. So once it worked correctly, that's when it immediately hit. So that was our small problem that we had to fix, but no big deal. Ended up working out and running.
Andy, Alex, Kurt, I'll play catch up with them. So I'm gonna hand this out real quick, so pass these around real fast for me. Yes, homework. Okay, so we're just gonna go over this real quick about tomorrow. So at this point in the day, we're gonna meet with everybody and kind of go over what they're doing tomorrow. So we're about 18 hours out from people showing up. Roughly 200 to 300 people are gonna be here first thing in the morning.
I gotta get parking set up, so I have the boys working on that. I have people up front checking everyone in to get settled for tractor school. I'll have people running food and coffee in the morning. I have to get Kurt and all of the instructors ready and set up with their PowerPoints and their displays. So we're kind of meeting, going over that, deciding who's doing what, and kind of giving everybody the responsibilities for the next 24 to 48 hours of mass chaos.
Go team. Please come back though. Don't go.
What side of a house is the best for a sunboard?
The east.
The outside.
That's a good one. I'll remember that.
There he is.
I'll start counting how many times I make this hallway today.
We've had a tremendous response for this, 275 or 300 people from 19 states, Pagan said.
So, the tractor we're going to use for our demonstration this afternoon, we had some problems with it. It didn't even pop or anything.
Are you worried?
Not worried.
So one of the best parts about working with Aumann Auctions is we're collectors too, and sometimes we just find things that we can't live without.